Hello, everyone. This is Serendipitous, and well, this is just a really kind of random, maybe quick video about something awesome that happened. So, back in May 1st, 2019, today is August 16th, 2019, by the way. Back in May, I decided I wanted to send an email to Blue Mammoth Games to see with just a few questions. Obviously, there are so many questions I could ask them about the lore, and I know that like they wouldn't have all the answers really, um, but I thought I'd ask, and I know that they're usually slow to respond and everything. I'm going to read to you what I sent to them back in May, and then I'm going to read their amazing response to that they gave me just a couple days ago. So May, June, July, August. I guess only 3 months. It's still a long time as far as emails go, but honestly, I mean, this isn't terribly important, really. I mean, I, I love the lore and stuff, but I know that the answering questions about lore is not anywhere near their priorities. I understand. I get it. Keep doing what you're doing, Blue Mammoth Games. You guys are awesome. Anyway, here's what I said on May 1st. Hi, Brawlhalla devs. I am continually working on a fan project that aims to be a comprehensive, user-friendly website for all things related to Brawlhalla lore and the real-world context behind it and the in-game cosmetics. I think some of you are aware of it. brawlhallalore.blogspot.com. First of all, I'll add my voice to the thousands of others in commending all of you for the amazing work you do in every aspect of Brawlhalla, from beautiful art to solid programming to ever-improving mechanics to impressively run competitions to engaging and entertaining social media interactions to, of course, the surprisingly complex lore given to the legends. Thank you for all you do. Now, if you'll allow me, I'm going to be one of those people with a few questions about the lore. I am well aware that the lore in this game is meant to be impressive and rather silly, and I love that. I simply want to be as thorough as possible in my research, and it would be negligent of me to not attempt to gain clear, official answers to my most pressing inquiries. Here are the 3 questions I have for you guys. 1. Canonicity of stages. It is my understanding that all of the maps are in some way related to the lore. What I want to know is this. How are the legends getting there in their battles? Are these stages mere recreations or illusions of the real locations? Or perhaps they are the real locations, but the stage itself is cloaked or far enough removed so the legends can't interfere with the place or time. Number 2. Locations/times in Legends lore pages. While some locations and times are featured as stages, many more are merely mentioned in the lore. My research so far seems to indicate that all locations that aren't in space or part of the Norwegian cosmology, Alfheim, Asgard, etc., are all on Earth. I'm curious about a certain group of seemingly related locations, Thera, Illyria, Dragonport, Orc Pass, Ikrusk, etc., that sound like they could be part of a separate fantasy world. But I've also found some hints that they refer to real-world locations. Thus, my question. With the exception of those from outer space or Norwegian worlds, do all mortal legends live on Earth? Did all mortal legends live on Earth, Midgard, before arriving in Brawlhalla? In addition, can it be safely assumed that the legends all arrived in Valhalla/Asgard in the order their mortal lives ended, with the exception of those who walked into or were born in Asgard? I'd ask about a overall timeline of events, but I think I can work all of that out, given general world history and context clues in the lore. Number 3. Canonicity of skins. Right now, I struggle to determine whether the skins should be considered part of the lore. Are some or all of them truly canon? Perhaps they are all just costumes created by some Asgardian designers for the tournament. Or perhaps they should be discounted from lore discussion entirely. I've been having lore-related discussions with Expired and Piox this morning, in May, and they claim Dolce once said the following on Twitter regarding the canonicity of skins, paraphrasing. A legend's first 3 skins, those initially released with the legend, are generally considered lore-related, even if in alternate universes like Darkheart Zariel or Bairdvar. Is this true? Does this make any skin canon to the lore given to the legends themselves? I asked for confirmation because, according to Piox and Expired, the original comment got lost when Expired's previous Twitter account got deleted. Regardless, I plan to at least research the historical/mythological context behind the design of each skin, even if they're not part of the lore. My site focuses on design context as well as lore. Also, I am aware that the real-world process of designing skins tends to be based on what looks or sounds cool. Conclusion. I understand that some of my questions may not have answers. I am not seeking to be some sort of lore hound who demands answers to everything. All I want to do is gather as much info about Brawlhalla lore as possible, and put all I find in one place for all to see and use. Besides, with all the research I'm doing and have been doing, it usually never hurts to ask anyway. Of course, there are so many other questions I could ask, but most are about lore aspects that seem to be kept intentionally ambiguous/enigmatic, like Orion, the Enigma legend himself, or are about smaller things/issues. Besides, so much of this lore you guys made can have multiple interpretations, and lore debates are lots of fun. I just wanted to take some time to ask my most pressing questions, the ones that will help me the most as my research focus concludes on the individual legends themselves and moves on to the stages, overall timelines, and cosmetics. Thank you so very much for your time, and again, thank you, truly, for all you do. Best regards, Serendipitous. Alright. I just ate some yogurt, and apparently some of that stuff is still in my throat a little bit. Anyway, so that's what I sent on May 1st, earlier this year. And didn't hear back for several months, and I had heard that people who have tried to contact BMG support have not heard back in a long time. So, understandable. And again, lore, not a huge thing, really. So, imagine my surprise then when yesterday, August 15th, 2019, I got a response from support. I'm going to read this response in its entirety and kind of unpack it a little bit, because some of the stuff they said is just, it kind of blows my mind a little bit. Hey Baron, we're sorry for the late response. Things have been busy over here. We've got for you a response from Matt. I assume that's Matt Woomer, the one of the, I think, executive producers of Brawlhalla and of Blue Mammoth Games, and also part of the lore team as well. So we follow each other on Twitter, so even though he doesn't look like he's on Twitter that often, that's fine. But still really cool. So this is about as official a source as you can get, I think, when it comes to lore from Blue Mammoth Games. Thanks for the questions. I can't directly answer all your questions without closing doors we'd rather leave open, but I can share this. So first of all, before going any further, can't directly answer all your questions without closing doors we'd rather leave open. That makes sense, honestly, because a lot of the lore is open to interpretation, and the fact that they've left things open allowed them to do some cool connections later on. For example, the fact that Fate was mentioned in Isaiah's lore long before Fate was actually released, it allowed them space to create a new legend however they wished. Just someone, and they decided to assign the kind of magic user or like witch archetype to the name Fate. Let's see, what other stuff? Like, also with the, I recently recorded an episode about Mirage, and how the end of Mirage's lore mentions that, like, you know, old friends, old enemies, and even a target, which kind of got me really intrigued. I don't really know who that target could be. Could it be Professor Price? Could it be maybe Vrax? Because, well, Vrax would be upset at her because she stole the Eye of Horus from a Zektari, probably from Vrax. I don't know. Maybe Orion is a target, or I don't know. Maybe Orion is a friend or an old enemy. I don't know. So more could be developed there. So that's kind of what the lore is all about. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to give character to these legends. And anyway, I'm rambling on. You probably want to know what more is coming, but I think that's important to consider when researching the lore. BMG wants to keep their options open. They want to, they don't want to restrict themselves too much. So, but here's what Matt Woomer has to say. So again, canonicity of stages, times, locations / times in the legends like Mortal Life and stuff, and when they entered Valhalla, and canonicity of skins. So, here we go. I guess they're not necessarily in the same order as I asked, but anyway, yes, the legends share one Brawlhalla-verse and one sprawling but coherent timeline. And as is so often the case with the great, their stories intertwine. Ada could be a descendant of Jala or Scarlet or Mirage. And I'm my mind was kind of blown because I never considered that. I never considered that. Apart from Sir Roland being the father of Bryn or whatever, that there could be other connections besides that. How have I not thought of this before? Like, Ada could be a descendant of Jala or Scarlet or Mirage, or let's see, I don't know who else. Caspian could be an ancestor of, I don't know, Baraza. I don't know. That's really cool to me. That's amazing. Anyway, moving on. Because of the nature of the game, we don't have a way to give anything but the barest snapshot of a legend's epic life and times. The tale of Hattori's travels through the twilight, or Bodvar's search for the Rainbow Bridge, the bridge that leads to Valhalla, could each fill volumes. However, time, while sometimes following the fantastical logic of this world, is not arbitrary, and to our knowledge, Valkyries rarely delay bringing the Chosen to Valhalla. Fair enough. Probably one of the exceptions to this would probably be something like maybe Diana had to survive for 11 days in the shores of Nastrand and Helheim before Valkyrie took her to Valhalla. But, yeah, that makes sense. Stages are not illusions. Just ask Core. Right, because Core is the left platform mover sometimes in Blackguard Keep. Furthermore, these new stages are just the tip of the stage iceberg. But there is no hard and fast rule on where stages are or how legends got there. Some, like Great Hall, are in Valhalla itself. The Colosseum, the vast stadium where Asgardians gather to watch the Grand Tournament, is near the center of Asgard. Okay, so, yeah, again, makes sense. No hard and fast rule on where they are or how they get there. I guess they want to keep their options open there. So I get that. I understand that. And, well, I mean, also, I guess, if I were... I guess it's kind of like Smash Brothers as well. Like how do all the people in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate go to I don't know, the Persona 5 stage or to Hyrule or to Mushroom Kingdom or whatever, things like that. Anyway, many skins are canonical, but some are not. Maybe we should mark which we know to be. You are right that while some are obviously from the legend's real life, think Sky Captain Scarlet or Iron Legion Taros, but it is not obvious that Apocalypse Mirage or Molten Core are based on true stories. They are. So that also kind of blew my mind a bit. Apocalypse Mirage or Molten Core. I'll need to look at those, but I guess those skins are based on true stories from their life, I guess? That's interesting. I would really like that, Blue Mammoth Games. If and when you can, please, please, please mark which skins are canonical and which are not. That would help me immensely. I would love that. And so yeah, finally, thanks for your interest in this strange place. I also find it fascinating. Matt Woomer. I hope that helps. I've enjoyed following the progress of your page, and I think it's a valuable resource for the community. Thanks. So yeah, that is... really cool. Some really cool stuff in there. And progress in the Brawlhalla lore wiki, brawlhallalore.blogspot.com. It is a little bit slower now. I have a few other projects that I've been working on throughout the summer, and also I'm starting grad school again soon, but I will still keep working when I can. I've been working with another fellow lore nerd on cosmetic pages, and I still have a fair amount of catching up to do on that. But that's what I'm working on now. I'm working on kind of like making a page for each skin that we have for each of the legends, and kind of maybe analyzing their canonicity, but if nothing else, kind of briefly explaining like where the design might be inspired from, that kind of thing. But anyway, I thought all of you would really appreciate that. And yeah, the Legend lore chats will still continue. I recorded Nyx yesterday, so that Nyx is Legend number 30. So that means that we have 16 legends to go before we catch up to Petra. And then, when a new legend arrives, then I'll do a new Legend lore chat and all that stuff. And then I'll try to figure out what I want to do next in this channel. So that's what I've got for you today, and I hope you found this as awesome and exciting as I do. So until next time, GG, fellow lore nerds.